What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got all the little minor details that we need to figure out on the FJ40. We're getting really close on the build and there's all the little things that add up to taking way too long usually, but we need to get them done. So I'm sure there's going to be more, but this is what we're starting with. We got to get the, well actually I think I'm just going to use this license plate bracket and just re-powder coat that, but we got that. I got a reverse light here that we're going to wire in. It's a little bit narrower, but it just barely fits those holes. So I'm going to use that light there. I want to get the grill painted. This one, I just been putting this off because I really don't feel like trying to straighten this thing out. It's all mangled up there, kind of down into there. The whole thing's kind of bent in a little bit. Right there, it's kind of pushed in. So what I'm going to try to do is just beat that out as best I can, get it as straight as I can. We'll get it in the sandblaster, we'll sandblast it, maybe throw some epoxy on it or some sort of primer on it, and then we can do, I'm sure it's going to need a little body filler just to kind of get it straightened out good enough. I don't need it perfect, but I need it better than that. So we got the grill, we got e-brake cable, which man, I really wanted to do a transfer case brake, but how this thing's set up, there's like probably a ½ inch of space between the transfer case output flange and the body, and you would have to get a rotor on there, which the rotor is going to be like 4 inches bigger than that flange, so that's not going to work. What we're going to try is I got cables for the actual Super Duty axle, so this is going to hook to the axle, and then I have the factory FJ40 handle and cable, which I'm gonna find a new one. If this system ends up working, I'll try to find a better cable. Hopefully they make replacements. If not, I don't know, we'll have to recover it. Actually, that feels all seized up anyway. I don't even know if that's gonna work. I might have to go find one before we even tackle that. This mounts in the dash. Obviously I kept all the mounting for the handle itself, so that is gonna be simple. That just bolts in. This cable is gonna be simple. It bolts through the firewall. All we really have to do is connect the end of that cable to be able to pull on both of these cables. So I should be able to make a fairly simple bracket that hold these cables and then make a little arm that hook to that and have a hole in the center, kind of like it is on the Super Duty. Have a hole in the center to where this can clip into and actually pull that lever, and then obviously we'll need another bracket on this side to hold everything, but it shouldn't be that bad. The only thing that sucks is running more cables down to the axles. That's why I want to do the transfer case idea, but that's not going to work. So we got cables, you're going to have to just come from here and just loop around, and hopefully we can make it work. I don't know. It's really my only option at this point. Well, that's what we got for an e-brake cable. Now, before I weld this mount on, or actually both mounts, I'm gonna wait for my new cable just to make sure it's actually the right length, because if we put this in the wrong spot, we'll be cutting it off. So I wanna just make sure that this cable is the same length as the new one. But got the brackets on. This should work pretty good. I'm not too overly stoked with having the cables. I mean, the driver or passenger side isn't bad because it comes into the front, but the driver's side, how it comes out of the back and loops around, just bugs me, but I don't see any other way to do it. Turn the lights on. Perfect. Off. All right, we got this grill all sprayed out, all fixed up, looking good. I did some high build primer on it, so I got it baking out in the sun. You want to let that stuff shrink as much as you can. So while we're waiting, I don't have my e-brake cable yet. So what I think I'm going to do is pull the handle out right here, the whole e-brake handle. We're gonna get that powder coated. I got a couple things down here that are gonna be powder coated. Obviously the stuff that is welded onto the frame is just gonna get painted. So the little lever in between, we'll powder coat that. And then I got the mesh right here that I'm gonna use into the grill. I'm gonna cut this, get this cut to length or whatever, get it to fit the grill, and then I think that should fit in the oven, so we should be able to powder coat that as well. I already sandblasted something. Oh, the rear license plate holder, that's all sandblasted, so that's ready to go. We're gonna get everything ready. Once we get our new cable in, we'll tidy up the e-brake. Once that paint or that primer cures up on the grill, we'll get that sanded out. Well, we got to get all these parts powder coated. Like always, prismatic powders to the rescue. We got stone black we're shooting on all this stuff. Just about everything I've powder coated for this project has been this stone black. If you guys want to get into powder coating, there's no better time than right now. I know a lot of you, when you think about powder coating, you think expensive. It is expensive having someone else do it for you, but if you can get set up to do it yourself, it's actually very cheap. It really depends on the oven size you want. If you're doing smaller parts like I usually do, you can get away with just a regular household oven. I spent like 60 bucks on my oven, and then I'm running a Redline EZ50 powder coating gun, which is under 400 bucks. It's like 380, I believe. I'll have all this stuff linked down in the description box if you guys want to check it out. Most powders are 10 to 20 bucks a pound, which, I mean, a pound of powder gets you quite a bit. So like I said, if you guys want to check this stuff out, I'll have it all linked down in the description box. Prismatic powders, the best spot to get your powders. Go check them out, link in description. Well, we got in the new cable, so I'm gonna swap this one in, and you can see there's like 2 inches of adjustment there. So we got quite a bit of adjustment, but I just wanted to get this cable in just to make sure everything is good to go before we weld all these brackets in. All right, we got the cables on, got this second mount just tacked in place for now. I did end up bending that cable little sheath or whatever, the metal part. So I'm just gonna run that right there. I'm gonna tie it up, actually kind of to the axle right up there. I think it holds it nice and tight. I don't mind that at all. So what we're gonna do now is jack up the axle, get the tires off the ground, make sure they still spin. I don't think these are, no, those aren't pulled at all yet. I just hope that the actual handle here has enough throw to fully engage those cables there. Okay, well, I can't get this to work. I think the main problem is right now, I replaced all of the shoes in the actual e-brake assembly inside, and I haven't adjusted them yet. So I think we need to adjust those, and then it might engage. Well, after a bunch of cutting and adjusting and moving things around, we got this. We got it jacked up. You can see we got no e-brake on there. Crank this bad boy on, and we're about the middle of the travel right there, and we still got a ton of adjustment on that cable up there, but now we're all locked up solid, so that should work. All we got to do now, weld that bracket on, throw a little paint on there, and we're done. E-brake should work good. Well guys, our e-brake finally works. After a bunch of adjusting, we finally got this thing working. It actually works pretty good. You have to really crank on the handle. I think it could probably benefit from like more leverage at the actual handle, but it should work just fine as is. I'm not gonna go redesign the entire thing. So it works. I think we're just gonna leave good as good enough. So grill looks good. All the powder coating we did looks amazing. I am stoked. This thing looks so much better with a grill on it. It just looks complete. We still got to get our winch in and maybe some more pod lights on the front. I'm not sure. We got to spice up the front. Oh, also, should I throw an emblem on the grill? I've been kind of back and forth if I want to throw on the like classic Toyota, like the spelt out Toyota on the grill like these Land Cruisers had. I might go look for one. I don't know. I think that might look good. Well, anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up here. Why don't you go smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.